Hello my royal lovelies and welcome back to the channel. I wasn't expecting to make a video quite so soon after my last one, but I'm going to have to because this is as good as the official confirmation that we are ever going to get, at the moment at least, about the late Queen Elizabeth II's passing. So, Boris Johnson, the former British Prime Minister, has written a memoir and it is being serialised, little bits of it in the Daily Mail. So today I was reading part of it, and because it was about his last meeting with her late Majesty, and he revealed that she did indeed have bone cancer. So I know this is something that has been bandied around for a while. I think Giles Brandreth said that she'd got bone cancer, and Lady C said that she'd got bone cancer. And I was always a little bit reserved on it because we hadn't had any official confirmation. And I always thought the official kind of confirmation, those details will be revealed in the official biography of the Queen when that eventually is written and comes out. And I always wondered sort of where these sources all fit together. And it seems like Boris Johnson is really good friends with Giles Brandreth because at the bottom of the article, it says Boris Johnson will be in conversation with Giles Brandreth at the Bridgewater Hall, Manchester on October the 12th. So this suggests a really good and close relationship and therefore access with the former Prime Minister. So obviously, Boris Johnson reveals that he knew about a year and a half, round about that kind of time frame, before the Queen passed away. So he was privy to that information. As Prime Minister, he would have been informed of that. Buckingham Palace and Number 10 would have been in conversation. And of course, the Prime Minister meets with the Queen on a weekly basis, so he would notice a decline in health. So I think, the Prime Minister would have been informed. By the way, I don't have reason to believe or suspect that Boris is lying about this. I think, for me, this is almost confirmation, if you like. Whether or not he was supposed to reveal it is another matter entirely. I imagine the palace is a little bit in shock, or maybe the palace wanted it leaked in this way. Anyway, so Boris Johnson knew about it. He was told by the palace, possibly even the Queen herself. And then I think he has told Giles, and I think Giles has told Lady C. And I think this is where the connection is. Lady C's sources come from Boris. I don't necessarily think Lady C has got that many sources in the palace. I mean, she might well do, but this is definitely one confirmed source link, shall we say. So Lady C, Giles Brandreth, Boris Johnson, the palace. There is a direct line of communication, if you like, a little bit of whispers going on. So the Queen had bone cancer, and I think this is quite pertinent because if she knew about a year and a half, maybe possibly, well, it was that time when she went into hospital for tests. So I think she's known since then. I think that's what the tests were for, basically. So she's known for a while that she's had bone cancer. So the palace has known that there's going to be a change of reign coming. And of course, we saw lots of adaptations for the Queen's declining health over that period in time. I mean, she did, considering now what we actually know, she did so well at the Jubilee. To be there as much as she actually did is absolutely incredible. So, she did so well. But the palace knew that there was going to be a change of reign. And I think this is why we had, of course, that extraordinary statement from the palace where basically the Queen was tying up loose ends about what to call Camilla. Was Camilla going to be Queen Camilla? And of course, the Queen put down her wishes and intent that the wife of a king is always a queen and that Camilla would be queen. So we can see now all the bits of the jigsaw going into place. So let's take a little look at what Boris actually said. He said it was September 2019, not long after he became Prime Minister, when he first stayed at Balmoral. And I think she drove him up to a picnic spot and they had a picnic and he had a conversation with the late Duke of Edinburgh, who was firing up his enormous steel barbecue. And then they enjoyed some bagpipes. Now, he spoke a little bit about the Queen's reaction to the famous Daniel Craig sketch at the Olympics. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting. He said, like all of my 13 predecessors, I had come to spend the last hour of my premiership in the company of Queen Elizabeth II. The date was the 6th of September 2022, more than 2 months after I had resigned as Prime Minister. He said it had been a rather frustrating summer, blah, 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 blah. He said, when Carrie and I got to Balmoral, we were shown into a library and stood around for quite a while and had coffee. I tried a few jolly remarks with the courtiers about the kind of advice I might give to Her Majesty about who she might really send for to be Prime Minister. They smiled, but they looked tired. Edward Young, her private secretary, tried to prepare me. This is key. I had known for a year or more that she had a form of bone cancer, and her doctors were worried that at any time she could enter a sharp decline. And of course, this is what happened. She entered into a sharp decline. She's gone down quite a bit over the summer, he said. And then the footman knocked and showed me into Her Majesty's drawing room. Good morning, Prime Minister, she said. And as we sat down opposite one another on the greeny blue sofas, I could see at once what Edward meant. She seemed pale and more stooped, and she had dark bruising on her hands and wrists, probably from drips or injections. But her mind, as Edward had also said, was completely unimpaired by her illness. And from time to time in our conversation, she still flashed that great white smile in its sudden mood-lifting beauty. To go to see the Queen for an hour a week and to pour your heart out was more than a privilege. I just think, well, he said, I felt there was nothing I could not tell her, and her genius, as I gave my descriptions of government, infighting, blah, blah, blah. Whatever crisis you laid before her, like one of her dogs finding something revolting on the moor and putting it on the carpet, she had seen worse. I just think that... he said, and after that, of course, 2 days later, she'd passed away. Edward Young explained to him later that she had known all summer that she was going, but was determined to hang on and do her last duty to oversee the peaceful and the orderly transition from one government to the next. And I expect to add another departing Prime Minister to her record-breaking tally. She gave me at least 2 bits of crucial advice without offending convention. I think I can pass them on. She was surprised by my general lack of bitterness, given what had happened in Westminster, but she approved. She said, there's no point in bitterness, she said, and amen to that. If everyone in politics and life could see that as clearly as she did, the world would be a much happier place. The other piece of advice concerned magpies. After Boris admitted that he was neurotic about seeing single magpies because they brought bad luck, she said, yes, she was exactly the same, but she had a ritual for banishing the curse. She says, if you see a single magpie, you just say, good morning, Mr. Magpie. Today is Monday, the 12th of March, or whatever the date is, and that sorts it out. So there you go, in case anyone needed some similar comfort. I think that this is, like I said, it's the first piece of what I would consider official evidence, proof, if you like, that she passed away of bone cancer. It's still not a substitute for the official palace confirmation or an approved biography revelation, but it's as close as we're going to get for now. And I, for one, absolutely believe what Boris is saying. And like I said, very interesting how we now can see the line of sources coming out of, I suppose, Buckingham Palace, or from other lines that lead down to people like Giles and, of course, Lady C. So please let me know in the comment section. This is only going to be a short video. Please let me know in the comment section what you think about this. And, of course, I am completely happy now to, go with that the Queen died of bone cancer. So thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, then please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media. And of course, do hit that bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me, mwah, to you all, and goodbye.